Okay, today I'm looking at playing 78 on a stereo system, and this can equally well be applied to a modern turntable, although this one is vintage from the late 70s. And the cartridge I'm going to use is an Audio-Technica AT91, which came supplied new with a 78 RPM stylus. I fitted the cartridge to a head shell for this turntable, so that I have two interchangeable head shells and I can play 78s or LPs and 45s by swapping over the head shells with the cartridges in them. I had to also adjust the weight of the 78 RPM cartridge head shell so that it would weigh the same as the other, so I could just interchange them without having to do all the setting up again. Having fitted this cartridge head shell on, I've also set the tracking to the recommended 2 grams tracking force and the anti-skating to match. The record I'm going to play is a very old one because it has to be over 75 years old, otherwise it will still be in copyright. So the record is I'm an Old Cow Hand by Carson Robinson and his Pioneers on the Rex record label from about the mid-1930s. Now that's the turntable setup, which has been altered by me to play 78s, because originally the Dual 604 turntable that I'm using did not have a 78 speed, but it's electronic, so I was able to adjust the electronics to give me 78 speed. The amplifier is the JVC JRS201L, which comes with a graphic equalizer built in, and I have trimmed off some of the upper end of the frequencies to cut down a bit the shellac hiss that you will pick up from these records. So that's the amplifier, and then the speakers I'm using are Wharfdale Delta 30s, and I think these are a bit later. They're probably from the 90s or the late 80s. That's one with the cover off, and there's one with the cover on. So they're reasonably good speakers, and it's a reasonably good system. It's not top end hi-fi by any means, but it is a good quality system. So to play 78s, really basically it's quite a good idea to go for one of these cartridges that you can now buy with the 78 stylus, fit it up and set it up correctly, and you'll get the best out of 78 that you can. Now this record, also not only being very old, has also of course been played on acoustic gramophones with steel needles, things like that. It's had all those years of use, so this is not going to be the best possible demonstration of the sound quality, but then I'm only using a microphone built into a tablet computer I'm filming this with anyway, so we shouldn't expect too much, but it's really basically to give the idea that you can play 78s on a modern hi-fi setup quite easily. So first thing I do is turn off the stylus lowering mechanism, because I need to get this stylus to start on the outside of the record properly, and there's no lead-in groove, so I have to be very, very careful it doesn't go off onto the turntable platter.
I'm an old cowhand on the Rio Grande, but the legs ain't full and my cheeks ain't tan. I'm a cowboy who never saw a cow, never roped a steer, 'cause I don't know how, and the show ain't fixing to start in now. Yippee-i-oh-ki-yay, yippee-i-oh-ki-yay. I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, and I come to town just to hear the band. I know all the songs that the cowboys know about the big corral where the donkeys go, 'cause I learned them all on the radio. Yippee-i-oh-ki-yay, yippee-i-oh-ki-yay. Step beside you on a rich tender feet, let a big fat buckaroo pass. I'm the toughest hombre you ever meet, though I may be the last. Yes, sirree, wear a bandage and race. No, sirree, can't last long. Step beside you on a rich tender feet while I sing my song. I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, where the old time west is a modern land. Yippee-i-oh-ki-yay, yippee-i-oh-ki-yay. Da-da-da-da, 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 da-da-da-da. Where the buffalo roam and the coyotes too, and the place they roam is a great big zoo, and the Indians all sing foo-boo-ba-doo. Yippee-i-oh-ki-yay, yippee-i-oh-ki-yay. I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, from the Rio Grande. I'm an old cowhand. I'm sure by now you will understand. This song is about an old cowhand from the Rio Grande. Yippee-i-oh-ki-yay, yippee-i-oh-ki-yay.
And there we have it, a 78 played on a hi-fi and at a reasonable cost. I think the cartridge was around about the £20 mark, which came with that stylus, so it's not too bad to adapt a hi-fi turntable, a hi-fi system to play 78s. And thank you for watching.